morning, guys. Welcome to week 10, the week of review. Today, we're going to start with the review of the topics that are coming on the exam. So we're going to begin with the topic of slopes, introduction to slopes. Remember, all of the videos are on the platform, so you can study from there. Also, the book has every single topic for extra exercises. However, study from your notebook, okay? Study the procedures seen in class, the ones that you're having in your notebook. Okay, so we begin with slope. So we have two formulas for slope. The first formula, which is for two given points, okay, is going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Like I told you, this is from a given point, two given points. One point you're going to call x1, comma, y1, and the other point you're going to call x2, comma, y2. Remember, order pairs are written in the form x, comma, y. So that's why it's going to be x1, y1, and x2, y2. Always the one with the one and the two with the two. Okie dokie. So if I give you this two given points, you need to solve with this formula. And remember, we have how many types of solutions? I mean, how many types of slopes? How many types of slopes do we have? One, two types of slopes, three types of slopes, four types of slopes. Which ones are they?
Positive slope, negative slope,
Negative slope. Okay, wait. Negative slope. Negative slope.
positive slope,
Positive slope.
zero slope,
Sorry.
zero slope,
Zero slope.
undefined slope,
Undefined slope. And remember, the zero slope is when we got a zero as a numerator, and then on the denominator, we have any number. Whenever you get this, zero over any number, doesn't matter if it's positive or negative, and that's a zero slope. And an undefined slope is when we have it the other way around, a number divided by zero. And we know that we cannot divide by zero, right? Because that's what makes it undefined. We cannot divide by zero. So those are the four types of slopes that you can have and that you can determine with this formula, okay? This other formula that we have is the rise over the run. The rise is the change in y. You count the spaces, and the run is a change in x. We also have some information about this rise and run. If it's positive, it goes up. Very good. And if it's negative, it goes down. Now the run, if the run is positive, so where does it go?
Right.
To the right. And if it's negative,
The left.
to the left. Okay, so right now we're gonna work with the slope with two given points, okay? That will be the exercises where we're gonna be working right now. So let's say that we got 2, 4. Let's say 12, 4, and 3, negative 9. Okay, are we gonna have a positive slope, a negative slope, an undefined, or a zero slope? I don't know, let's find out. The first thing that you need to do is to call one of those points x1, y1. Which one? Whichever you want. Remember, I usually give the first point x1, y1. But if we want to do it the other way around, it will still be the same answer, and it will be no problem at all. So the second point will be x2, y2. I just do it this way to keep in order. And we're going to use this formula over here. So I'm gonna copy my formula down there, and I'm just gonna substitute these values inside my equation, okay? So I'm gonna have the slope is equal to, instead of y2, -9. Now there is a minus in the equation, so minus, instead of y1, 4. Over, instead of x2, 3. Minus of the equation, remember to place always the minus of the equation. If the number is negative, place it in between the parentheses. x1, 12. And we solve. -9 minus 4. -9 minus 4.
-13.
-13, exactly, because same signs, you add and you give the sign. 3 minus 12.
-9.
-9. Because different signs, you subtract and you keep the sign of the greatest number. 12 is greater than 3 and 12 is negative. Can we simplify this? Can we simplify -13 over -9? No?
The only thing is to sum the negative.
Only multiply the negatives, correct? So we're gonna multiply the negatives. Negative times negative, positive. So this is 13 over 9. What type of slope do we have? Positive, because it is a positive answer. Okay, and that's how we know that it's positive, because the answer is a positive number. So in your exam, probably you're going to place if it's positive or negative. I don't remember, okay? So this is the first type of exercise that we're going to have, finding the slope with this type of given points. Let's do another one, okay? Let's do another one. Let's say that we have a point -4, 3, and -5, 3. Okay, so let's see. Which point is going to be x1, y1? Remember, it doesn't matter. So it could be any of those. So just because I used the first one, the first point, just to show you that it doesn't matter, I'm going to use this one as x1, y1. I usually do it this way, okay? And this is going to be x2, y2. And we're going to still use the same formula because there are two given points and we are asked to find the slope, and we're going to simplify, okay? So y2 is 3 minus y1 is 3 as well, over x2 is -4 minus x1 is -5. So between the parentheses, the 5. Why do I place the 5 between the parentheses? Because it's a negative number. We go ahead and simplify. I'm going to multiply negative times negative. Positive. So -4 plus 5. -4 plus 5. Positive 1. And 3 minus 3.
0.
0. Very good. What type of slope do we have?
0 slope.
A 0 slope. We can simplify this into just 0. And we just say that this is a 0 slope. Okay. And that's it. Now, a little hint. How do I know when I'm going to have a 0 slope? When both y's are the same. Okay, so if you see two ordered pairs and you see that the value, the coordinate y, the value of the coordinate y is exactly the same in both ordered pairs, your slope is going to be a zero slope. Okay, that's a little hint. And if you see that both values of the x coordinate are the same, then you're going to have an undefined slope. That's just a way of realizing how it is. However, you do need to show the procedure in your notebook or in your exam, okay? So for example, if I have 14, comma, -7 over 14, comma, 3, what type of slope am I having without doing any procedure?
Undefined slope.
An undefined slope. Why? Because both values of x are the same. Let's prove it, okay? Let's see if that's correct. If that hint is really good for us to use. Okay, however, you do need to show the procedure for the exam if you're asked for something like that. Okay, it's just like a helping part for you, okay? It doesn't mean that that will be your answer. You do need to show procedure. Okay, so y2, it is 3 minus y1, -7. So I always place the negatives in between the parentheses. Over x2, 14, minus x1, 14. Now negative and negative, positive. 3 plus 7. 3 plus 7. 3 plus 7. 10. And 14 over 14. I mean, 14 minus 14.
0.
0. And there you go. A number over a 0. This is an undefined slope. Okay. This is undefined. And that's where you're going to be writing in between the parentheses. So you can know that this is an undefined slope. Questions? No questions?
Miss,
Yes?
what happens if an example that x1 is negative and x2 is positive? It's gonna
Okay,
be
let's do that.
positive.
Okay, so x1 is negative. So let's say negative 8, comma, -1. And you say x2 is positive. So let's say 10, comma, 0. Okay. So this is x1, y1, and x2, y2. Okay, so let's find out what type of solution we are going to have. Is it a positive? Is it a negative? Is it a 0? Undefined? So it is not 0 because both y's are different. It is not undefined because both x are different. So let's see if we get a positive or a negative, okay, in this particular exercise. So we got y2 is 0 minus y1 is -1 over x2 is 10 minus, okay, x1 is -8. So help me out. What do we get? Zero. Minus, it's positive. Okay. So 0 plus 1.
1.
1. Negative and negative is positive. So 10 plus 8.
18.
18. For this particular exercise, we got a positive slope. So that's what you do. You multiply signs, okay? If x2 is positive and x1 is negative, you will have to multiply the signs. Negative times negative, positive, okay? And then you add. Yeah. Okay, so this is the first part, which will be the introduction to slope. However, after that, we have another topic, which that's the one that we're gonna work right now. Next topic is going to be the slope-intercept form. Anyone remembers what the slope-intercept form equation is? What's the slope-intercept form equation?
I think it's the one of rise and run.
Why?
It's about the formula.
Yeah, the formula. Or what slope-intercept form?
Then goes a variable thing. So
What variable?
like x.
That we substitute y or x to find the value.
Find the value of what? I want the form, the slope-intercept form. Y equals mx, you need to remember this, plus b. You need to remember this. Y equals mx plus b. This is the slope-intercept form equation. Okay, this is the slope-intercept form equation, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept that you are going to write as 0, comma, and the number, okay? Or we can say b, okay? 0, comma, b. That's how you're gonna write a slope-intercept form equation. So if I say, write an equation in slope form, slope-intercept, sorry, that has slope -2 and y-intercept 9, what are you going to do? Okay, so you're going to say, my equation, y equals mx plus b. According to the exercise given, the slope is how much?
-2 over 1.
-2, because we're not
Over 1.
graphing. It only says to write an equation. We're not graphing. We place the invisible
Okay.
one as a denominator when we graph. Right now, we're not graphing. And b would be the y-intercept. So what is b? We're writing it as an ordered pair. What would be b?
Parentheses, comma, 9, parentheses,
Parentheses,
0, comma, 9,
comma,
parentheses.
9.
Sorry.
Very good. Now we're going to substitute that inside the equation. So we're going to say y is equal to,
Y
instead of
is equal
m,
to -2 plus 9.
exactly -2x plus
9.
9. And that's it, because you're not asked to graph. This is your final answer. You're not being asked to graph, so you don't graph at all. Okay, let's do one more. In this one, we are going to graph. Okay, so write an equation of the slope in slope form that has slope 3/2 and y-intercept -2. Okay, so we're good and graph. Then graph, okay? And we're gonna graph using the slope-intercept method because we are being asked for an equation in slope-intercept method. Okay, so again, we copy our equation always, and now we identify our slope. What is the slope according to the exercise?
M is equal to 3/2 over 1.
3/2. It is already a fraction, so we don't place an over 1. We leave it as like that. It's already a fraction. Only when they give us an integer, then yes, we pass it to a fraction. And the slope, and the intercept is 0,
0, 2, negative 2, or
negative 2. Very good. Let's write the equation. So y is equal
3/2 x plus,
half x
sorry, minus 2.
minus 2. We keep the sign of the intercept. Even though my equation is positive, we keep the sign of our intercept. Now we are going to graph. Okay, and we're going to graph over here. I think, sorry about that. The mouse still has its own problems. Let's see if this is big enough. Remember to make the arrowheads. This is the x-axis. This is the y-axis. Okay, first thing, we graph the intercept 0, negative 2. So negative 1, negative 2. Now we are going to see the rise and the run. Rise is positive 3, so does it go
It's
up?
up and right.
Very good, Nino, up. And the run is positive, so it goes to the right. So from this point that we just graphed, we go 3 units up, 1, 2, 3, and 2 to the right. 1, 2. Right in that place is where you're gonna put your second point. What do we do now? We connect those 2 points with a straight line because these are linear equations. So we connect them with a straight line passing through the center of both points. And we draw our arrowheads. And that is the graph of the equation that we found that has a slope 3/2 and a y-intercept negative 2. Questions?
None.
Okay, so there's no question. I'm going to place only a little bit here down because we didn't need it too long. There, the y. And that is the slope-intercept form method. How you write an equation, how you find the values that you're going to graph. Questions? No questions? Okay, then this is everything for today.